Hello everyone and welcome to EverlastCyber. In today's video, we'll be going through practice questions and answers for the Comptia A Core 2 certification exam. The Core 2 of the exam covers operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. We'll be discussing each of the questions as well as giving explanations on why those answers were chosen. So let's dive right in. Question 1. A company is issuing smartphones to employees and needs to ensure data is secure if the devices are lost or stolen. Which of the following provides the best solution? A. Anti-malware. B. Remote wipe. C. Locator applications. D. Screen lock. For this question, where a company is issuing smartphones to their employees, in order to ensure that their data is secure, even if the devices get lost or stolen, it's important to activate the remote wipe on the devices. So we'll be going with option B. The remote wipe will allow the company to remotely erase all data on a lost or stolen smartphone. In this way, all sensitive company information will not fall into the wrong hands. For the other options, anti-malware is important for protecting against malicious software. However, it does not address the risk of data exposure if the device is lost or stolen. Screen lock is also crucial to prevent unauthorized access, but it does not protect the data if the device is lost or stolen, and it can be accessed by anyone that can bypass the lock. For locator applications, they help in tracking the location of the device, but it does not secure the data on the device if it falls into an unauthorized hands. So that's why we're going with option B, remote wipe. Question 2. Which of these is the most important environmental concern inside a data center? A. Humidity. B. Legacy servers. C. Battery disposal. D. Toner disposal. For this question, we'll be going with option A. Maintaining the proper humidity levels is crucial in a data center, and this is so that it can prevent static electricity and to avoid condensation. Static electricity can damage sensitive electronic components, and condensation can lead to short circuits or even equipment failure. The other options for this question are important, however, they are not critical to the day-to-day operational environment within a data center. Question 3. A company wants to remove information from past users' hard drives to reuse the hard drives. Which of the following is the most secure method? A. Reinstalling Windows. B. Performing a quick format. C. Using disk wiping software. D. Deleting all files from command line interface. Okay, we'll quickly go through the options before we reveal the answer. For option A, reinstalling the operating system may not completely erase all data because some of the data might remain in an unallocated space or even the system restore points. Performing a quick format only deletes the file's system structure, and it makes the files invisible to the operating system. However, the data remains on the disk and can be potentially recovered using specialized software. Using a disk wiping software ensures that all the data is completely overwritten and it makes it unrecoverable. While option D, deleting files using the command line interface, it only removes the file references from the directory. However, the actual data remains on the disk until it is overwritten. So for this, we'll be going with option C, the disk wiping software. This will ensure that all the data is completely overwritten and to make it unrecoverable. This method is more secure than the other options, so that's why we're going with this. Question 4. A manager at a client's company reports that staff frequently forget their mobile device and application passwords. What should you do to reduce help desk tickets? A. Increase the failed login threshold. B. Enable multi-factor authentication. C. Implement a single sign-on with biometrics. D. remove complex passwords requirements. For option A, increasing the failed login threshold means that it will allow more failed login attempts before unlocking an account. This might reduce the number of immediate lockouts. However, it does not address the core issue of forgotten passwords. And additionally, it can even compromise the security by making it easier for unauthorized users to guess passwords. Option B, enabling multi-factor authentication. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring additional verification. And while this improves security, it does not solve the problem of forgotten password, and it can even add complexity to the login process. Implementing a single sign-on, it allows users to access multiple applications with a single authentication, which is usually a biometric data, and this can reduce the need to remember multiple passwords. Option D, removing the complex password requirements, which will make the passwords easier to remember. This weakens the security and it will make the passwords easier to guess or crack. So this approach can increase the risk of unauthorized access to accounts and sensitive information. So in order to reduce the number of help desk tickets due to staff forgetting their mobile device and application passwords, it's advised to implement a single sign-on with biometrics, and that's option C. So implementing a single sign-on with biometrics will simplify the login process, and it will reduce the need for the staff to remember multiple passwords. Question 5. A change directory board just approved a change request. Which of the following is the most likely next step in the change process? A. End user acceptance. B. Perform risk analysis. C. Communication to stakeholders. D. Sandbox testing. For the end user acceptance, this usually occurs after the change has been implemented and tested in order to ensure that it meets the user needs and requirements. Performing a risk analysis is conducted before the change advisory board approval in order to assess the potential impacts and decide if they should proceed with the change. Communicating with stakeholders will inform the relevant stakeholders about the upcoming change, its impact, and the implementation timeline. While the sandbox testing is part of the pre-approval process in order to ensure that the change works as expected without affecting the live environment. So in this case, the next step once a change request has been approved by the change advisory board is to communicate to the stakeholders, and that's option C. So, once the change request is approved, the stakeholders should be informed about the upcoming changes, its impact, and the implementation timeline. This will ensure that everyone is carried along and is aware of the change, and they can prepare accordingly for it. Question 6. While troubleshooting a customer's PC, a phone call comes through on your phone. However, you do not take the phone call and set your phone to silent. Which of the following best describes your action? A. Set and meet timelines. B. Avoid distractions. C. Deal appropriately with customer confidential material. D. Adhere to user privacy policy. For this, the best description for this action is option B, avoiding distractions. So by silencing your phone and not taking the call, you're ensuring that you remain focused on the task at hand, and this provides undivided attention to the customer's issue, which will help in effectively troubleshooting and resolving the problem. Question 7. What should a technician do first after verifying that a user's PC is infected with ransomware, given that the user cannot open any files and a program on the desktop demands payment for file access? Now, without even going through the questions, we already know that this is a classic example of a malware attack. So let's go through the options. Option A, scan and remove the malware. Option B, schedule automated malware scans. Option C, quarantine the system. Option D, disable system restore. For this, the best line of action will be option C. Quarantining the system involves isolating that infected PC from the network in order to prevent the ransomware from spreading further. This step will help to contain the infection, and it will prevent potential damage to other systems or data in the network. Now, after quarantining the system, the technician can now go ahead to scan and remove the malware, to clean the infected PC, and also to restore normal operations. Question 8. Anita's smartphone data usage is well above average. She suspects that an installed application is transmitting data in the background and would like to be alerted when an application attempts to communicate with the internet. Which of the following best describes her concerns? A. Firewall. B. Antivirus. C. Operating system updates. D. Remote wipe. For this, the best action that will address her concerns, it will be option A. Setting up a firewall. A firewall will monitor and control the incoming and outgoing network traffic on her smartphone. So by configuring the firewall settings, Anita can set up alerts or notifications so that whenever an application attempts to communicate with the internet, she will be informed about it. This allows us to stay informed with data usage and also potentially identify any unauthorized or suspicious activities by applications. Question 9. After clicking on a link in an email, a chief financial officer received the following error. We can see the diagram here. It shows there is a problem with this website's security certificates. The CFO then reported the incident to a technician. The link is purportedly to the organization's bank. Which of the following should the technician perform first? A. Update the browser CRLs. B. File a trouble ticket with the bank. C. Contact the ISP to report the CFO's concern. D. Instruct the CFO to exit the browser. Now, in this scenario, the CFO received an error about his security certificate after clicking on a link that is supposedly from the organization's bank. Going through the options, option A, updating the browser's CRL. While keeping the certificate revocation list updated is important for browser security, this is not the immediate action that is needed for when a security certificate error is encountered. Options B, filing a trouble ticket with the bank. This would allow the bank to investigate if the link is legitimate or if it is a potential phishing attempt. Option C, contacting the ISP to report the CFO's concern. It may be necessary if there are broader connectivity issues. However, verifying the legitimacy of the bank link through the direct communication with the bank takes priority. Option D, instructing the CFO to exit the browser. It might be a precautionary step if there are no concerns about any ongoing security risk, but verifying the validity of that link and reporting it to the bank is more important and should be the immediate action to take. So we'll be going with option B, filing a trouble ticket with the bank. This error message that is received by the CSO suggests that there might be an issue with the security certificate of the website linked to the email. So by contacting the bank directly through a trouble ticket, it will allow them to investigate if indeed the link is from them or if it is a phishing attempt. This prompt action will help to ensure the security of the CFO's information as well as the organization's data. Question 10. Which encryption technology should secure the workstation for point-of-sale transactions involving credit cards and loyalty cards in case of theft? A. Disk encryption. B. File encryption. C. Data in transit encryption. D. USB drive encryption. Disk encryption ensures that all data stored on a workstation's hard drive is encrypted. File encryption encrypts individual files and folders rather than the entire disk. Data in transit encryption encrypts data that travels between devices or across networks, while USB drive encryption encrypts the data that is stored on a USB drive. So with respect to the scenario we have here, the best encryption technology that will secure the workstation for a point of sales transaction that has information about credit cards and loyalty cards in case of theft would be option A. This encryption will ensure that all the data that is on that workstation hard drive is encrypted, so it protects the sensitive information on it like the credit card and the loyalty card data in case the workstation is stolen or accessed by unauthorized parties. Question 11. A laptop user is visually impaired and requires a different cursor color. Which of the following operating system utilities is used to change the color of the cursor? A. Keyboard. B. Ease of Access Center. C. Touchpad. D. Display settings. For this, we'll be going with option B. The Ease of Access Center can be found in Control Panel, and it provides options that can be used to customize various accessibility features like the cursor color and size in order to suit the needs of the users with visual impairments. Question 12. You have an incident handler who needs to preserve evidence for possible litigation. Which of the following will the incident handler most likely do to preserve the evidence? A. Clone any impacted hard drives. B. Encrypt the files. C. Contact the cyber insurance company. D. Inform law enforcement. For this, we'll be going with option A. Cloning the impacted hard drive will ensure that an exact duplicate of the digital evidence is created, and this clone can then be analyzed and used for forensic investigation without altering the original evidence. This is crucial for maintaining the integrity and admissibility in potential legal proceedings. For the other options, they are less likely the first action. For option B, encrypting the files, it doesn't preserve the evidence in its original state, but rather it secures it against unauthorized access. Contacting the cyber insurance company may be necessary for reporting the incidents. However, it's not directly related to the immediate preservation of evidence for litigation purposes. Informing law enforcement is important for serious incidents, especially those involving criminal activities. However, preserving evidence by cloning the impacted hard drive is the first step that should be taken in order to ensure forensic examination can proceed effectively. Question 13. A technician suspects a rootkit has been installed and needs to be removed. Which of the following would best resolve the issue? A. Application updates. B. Anti-malware software. C. OS reinstallation. D. File restore. Option A, application updates, is less likely to remove a rootkit because it infects the operating system at a deeper level. Option B, the anti-malware software, it can detect and remove many types of malware. However, rootkits are designed to evade detection and removal. Some anti-rootkit tools may help, but a complete installation of the OS is more reliable. File restore, option D, restores files from a backup, and it may replace the infected files with cleaner versions, but it does not address the root cause of the infection. So for this, we'll be going with option C. Reinstalling the operating system ensures that you have a clean slate, and it removes any malicious software, including rootkits, that may have compromised the system. And this is because rootkits are sophisticated types of malware that embed themselves deeply into the operating system. So this makes them difficult to detect and remove completely using the traditional anti-malware software. Question 14. Someone who is fraudulently claiming to be from a reputable bank calls one of your company employees. Which of the following best describes this incident? A. Spyware. B. Phishing. C. Spoofing. D. Spear phishing. For this, we'll be going with option B. Phishing or voice phishing is a type of social engineering attack where an attacker impersonates a legitimate entity like a bank representative in order to manipulate an individual into disclosing sensitive information over the phone. So it's very important not to divulge or disclose sensitive information over the phone, even when the person claims to be calling legitimately, maybe from your bank, or the person is claiming to be a technician, an IT technician. It's important not to divulge sensitive information over the phone. Question 15. A technician needs to format a USB drive to transfer 20 gigabytes of data from a Linux computer to a Windows computer. Which of the following file systems will the technician most likely use? A. FAT32, B. X4, C. NTFS, D. exFAT. For this, we'll be going with option D. The exFAT, or Extended File Allocation Table, is compatible with both operating systems, that's the Windows and the Linux, and it supports large file sizes and volumes. This makes it suitable for transferring large amounts of data, even up to 20 gigabytes, and it is particularly useful for USB drives because it allows seamless file interchange between different platforms without the file size limitations of the FAT32. Question 16. One of your users reports that their PC is running slowly. You suspect it has a badly fragmented hard drive. Which of the following tools should you use? A. dfrgui.exe, B. msconfig.exe, C. resmon.exe, D. misinfo32.exe. For this, we'll be going with option A. The dfrgui.exe is the disk defragmenter tool in Windows, and it is used to analyze and defragment the hard drive. Usually, fragmentation occurs when files are split into many pieces and they are stored in different locations on the disk. And this can slow down performance because it means that the hard drive is disorganized. But by running the disk defragmenter, it can reorganize the fragmented files, and by doing so, it will improve the overall system speed. Question 17. A technician needs to exclude an application folder from being catalogued by a Windows term search. Which of the following utilities should be used? A. Privacy, B. Indexing options, C. System, D. Device manager. For this, in order to exclude an application folder from being catalogued by a Windows term search, the utility that should be used is option B, the indexing options. This allows you to customize the locations and the files that are to be excluded or included from Windows search. And by adding specific folders to the exclusion list within the indexing options, you can prevent their contents from being indexed and appearing in search results. Question 18. Leo created a file on a shared drive and wants to prevent its data from being accidentally deleted by others. Which of the following applications should Leo use to assist him with hiding the file? A. mstsc.exe, B. Administrative tools, C. Device manager, D. File explorer. For this, the best application that Leo should use will be option D, the File Explorer. The File Explorer will allow Leo to set permissions and security settings for his files and folders, and by adjusting the file permissions, Leo can restrict others from deleting the file accidentally. This involves configuring access controls to limit who can modify or delete the file on the shared drive. Question 19. The command cat everlast.txt was issued on a Linux terminal. Which of the following results should be expected? A. The contents of the text everlast.txt will be replaced with a new blank document. B. The contents of the text everlast.txt will be displayed. C. The contents of the text everlast.txt will be categorized in alphabetical orders. D. The contents of the text everlast.txt will be copied to another Comptia.txt file. The cat command in Linux is used to concatenate and display the contents of a file. So when cat everlast.txt is executed, it outputs the contents of the file everlast.txt directly to the terminal, and this allows the user to view the text within that file. So we'll be going with option B. Question 20. A technician needs to recommend the best backup method that will mitigate ransomware attacks. Only a few files are regularly modified, however, storage space is a concern. Which of the following backup methods will best address these concerns? A. Full backup. B. Differential. C. Offsite. D. Grandfather, father, son. Given the requirements to mitigate against ransomware attacks, where only a few files are regularly modified and storage space is a concern, the best backup to go with will be differential. So we'll be going with option B. Differential backup is suitable because with respect to storage space, it only stores the changes that have been made since the last full backup. Also, since a few files are regularly modified, the differential backup captures only those changes, and this is efficient. So in the case of a ransomware attack where the files may be encrypted, restoring from a differential backup will ensure that the recent changes are preserved without needing to restore a full backup, because this can be time consuming. Additionally, differential backups are simple to implement and manage compared to the other methods like the grandfather, father, son and the full backup, because this involves multiple layers of backups over time. So that's why we're going with option B. Muzen reports that his PC seems to be running more slowly than usual. After checking system resources, you observe that GPU usage is extremely high. Which of the following types of malware is likely to blame? A. Keylogger. B. Ransomware. C. Crypto miner. D. Spyware. Going through the options, a keylogger is designed to record keystrokes and capture sensitive information like password, so it does not really consume GPU resources. Ransomware encrypts files and demands a ransom for payments for the decryption of the files. This does not affect the resource consumption. A crypto miner uses computational resources of the computer to mine cryptocurrencies, and this can lead to an increased GPU usage, while a spyware is used to gather information about a person or organization without their knowledge. So with respect to the scenario here where Muzen reports that his PC is running more slowly than usual, it's likely a crypto miner attack that is happening on his PC. So we'll be going with option C. So the crypto miners are malicious programs that are designed to use the computational resources of the computer to mine cryptocurrencies. This can lead to an increased GPU usage, and it slows down the computer's performance because other tasks compete for the GPU resources. Question 22. A technician is installing new software on a Mac OS computer. Which of the following file types will the technician most likely use? A. .deb. B. .vbs. C. .exe. D. .app. For this, we'll be going with option D. In Mac OS, applications are typically packaged as .app bundles. These bundles contain all the files that are necessary for the application to run, including the executable code, the metadata, and the resources. So by double-clicking on a .app bundle, will initiate the installation or launching process on the Mac OS. Question 23. Which of the following could be used to implement secure physical access to a data center? A. Geofence. B. Alarm system. C. Bad reader. D. Motion sensor. A geofence is a virtual boundary defined by GPS, and while it can be used for location-based services, it does not control direct physical access to a data center. An alarm system is important for security and they are used to detect and alert unauthorized entry, but it does not control access directly. A bad reader, on the other hand, is used in data centers to control physical access, while a motion sensor detects movement within a defined area and is used as part of security systems that triggers alarms or surveillance. So with respect to the question we have here, in order to implement a secure physical access to a data center, the badge reader, option C, could be used. Authorized personnel are issued badges or access cards that they can use to authenticate themselves at the badge readers installed at entry points. This will ensure that only the authorized individuals with proper credentials can gain access to the data center, which is a sensitive area. Question 24. Upon downloading a new ISO, an administrator is presented with the following string. Which of the following best describes the purpose of this string? A. XSS verification. B. AES 256 verification. C. Hash verification. D. Digital signature verification. In this context, this string represents a hash value, but let's go through the other options we have here. So XSS verification or cross-site scripting verification is related to web application security, and this involves checking for vulnerabilities that are related to injecting malicious scripts, but it does not verify file integrity through hash values. Option B, the AES 256 verification, is a symmetric encryption algorithm that is used for securing data, but it does not verify file integrity. Option C, hashing is a process that takes an input and produces a fixed size string of characters based on the contents of the file, while the digital signature verification involves the use of cryptographic techniques to verify the authenticity and integrity of a message that is signed by the sender. So in the case where the administrator is presented with this string, this is actually a hash value. So we'll be going with option C, the hash verification. So hash values are used to verify the integrity of downloaded files, and by comparing the hash value provided by the source with the hash value calculated from the downloaded file, the administrator will ensure that the file has not been tampered with or corrupted during transmission. Question 25. A technician is unable to join a Windows 10 laptop to a domain. Which of the following is the most likely reason? A. The domain's processor compatibility is not met. B. The laptop has Windows 10 Home installed. C. The laptop does not have an onboard Ethernet adapter. D. The laptop does not have all current Windows updates installed. Let's go through the options. So, option A, processor capability does not affect joining a domain. Does not affect the system's capability to join the domain on a Windows 10 laptop. Option C. Option B, the Windows has Windows 10 Home installed. So typically Windows 10 Home Edition does not support joining the domain. So this could be the most likely reason why a technician is unable to join the Windows 10 laptop to a domain. For option C, while network connectivity is necessary to join the domain, most laptops come with built-in Ethernet adapters or support for network connections via Wi-Fi. Option D, while having all current Windows updates installed is recommended, it is not a prerequisite for joining a domain on a Windows 10 laptop. So for this, the most likely reason why the technician is unable to join is because the laptop has Windows 10 Home installed. So we are going with option B. Domain joining capability is restricted to Windows 10 Pro, Enterprise, and Education editions, but the Home edition does not support joining a domain. This brings us to the end of the video for Core 2. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you have found this video helpful. Also click on the subscribe button so you'll be notified for when the next video goes up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.